Welcome, everybody, to the Leo D. Mahoney Arena here in Fairfield, Connecticut for a matchup featuring your Fairfield Stags and the Siena Saints. Joining me as my color commentator is Logan Rundy. Logan, what can we expect from today's matchup?
Well, it's two great teams, right? A team in 6th place in Fairfield, the host tonight, and then you have Siena, who's in 2nd place trying to hold off St. Peter's. They're not going to catch up to Merrimack. They've already clinched the conference. But again, you just got to, the better the seeding, the better off you're going to be, obviously, right? Try to play Friday, get a favorable matchup, right? If you're playing Friday next week, and then you go from there, right? You got a great scorer in Gavin Doughty, 17.4 points a game. He's going to be electric. Shoots the ball incredibly well from pretty much everywhere on the floor, right? He's just under 50%, 47.7, and he's got a three-pointer. He hits one out of every three, so he's really going to be impactful tonight, in my opinion, and the Stags got to really hold him off.
Absolutely. And speed is going to be such an impactful part of today's game. For Fairfield, I think their most impactful player today is going to be Braden Sparks. Sparks, as his name suggests, is really a spark from Fairfield's team. He really gets it going. He's the hustle man, lightning quick second step, and can really get to his spots and force the defense to collapse in on him, opening up three-point shots for his teammates.
Yeah, he's probably had the best season of his career, right? 17.6 points, shooting 40% from three. That's numbers that you're going to need, especially in March, right? He's played well for the first 28 games of the year. Really has got to transition that into March for games 30, 31, and hopefully 32 if you make it to the championship game.
Absolutely. Fairfield also having a matchup this Sunday, in fact, coming up. So Fairfield's got to make sure to pace themselves in this game. Make sure not to gas out as they look to take their 2-game win streak into a 4-game win streak come the end of this weekend.
Yeah, Mount St. Mary's is on Sunday, right? They're across town tonight at Sacred Heart. It's the first matchup of the year. Fairfield's 5-2 against them out all time. It's a favorable matchup. You beat Siena here tonight, you really put yourself in a good position, not only for Sunday, but for next week in Atlantic City.
Absolutely. This is such a crucial matchup to see how this Fairfield team will stack up against the better teams in the MAC, because even though most of the teams in the upper part of the MAC are quite close in their record, Siena is better than Fairfield is right now in the MAC. So this is really going to be a proving ground point to see how is Fairfield held up throughout the season? Do they still have the stamina that they once did early on? And how this young core, because most of their starters are sophomores or younger, how this young core will face as they enter some of the most grueling parts of the season, the ending crawl.
Yeah, it's a grueling part, and it's unfamiliar. I think that's the biggest thing, right? You have a point guard in Butta Williams who's never been here before, right? You have a forward in Holland Rollins who's, again, never been here before, but the guys that have shown up big time this year. And they're coming off a big win against Quinnipiac. They're looking to improve that MAC tournament seed. If you win the next couple games, you're a 6 seed, which is great, right? You play Saturday, you give yourself about 6 days rest. So that's really where you want to be if you're Fairfield. And if you're Siena, try to play on Friday, right? Get that favorable matchup. Don't slip all the way down for seeds 3 through 6.
Absolutely. I think a very impactful player also is going to be Declan Wurfenig. He's a freshman, but the 6'7" combo guard and forward has been a crazy impactful player. He's been the player they look to when they need a gritty last chance point. He really finishes through contact excellently, and he's a real tough player that is not afraid of backing someone down, drawing that contact foul, and off the bench, he is red hot. I have never seen him do a slow start coming into a game, and he's been an incredible player. Plays so fast, so young. I'm very excited to see how he plays.
Well, he's young, but again, these are going to be moments that he's tested, right? I mean, it's 12.4 points, 7.6 rebounds, right? He started all 29 games for Coach Casey this year. He's a guy that's clearly trusted, right? But is he going to be trusted in the biggest moments here down the stretch, right? Here on the final Friday in February.
Absolutely. That is what time can only tell. But as we prepare for this matchup, we're going to take a look at some of the suspected starters for today. For Fairfield, looking at Braden Sparks, Tony Williams, Holland Rollins, Brandon Benjamin, and Declan Wurfenig. Starting out for the Saints, it's going to be Justice Schultz, Antonio Chandler, Gavin Doughty, Francis Falafak, and Braden Coyle.
It's two teams that have rolled these starters out pretty much since the beginning of December. Coach Casey has really relied on this starting lineup. He messed around a little bit for the first few games of the year, but since conference play started, this has been the 5 that he's ran with. A little dissimilar for the Saints. they've mixed it up throughout the year. Probably for the last month, this has really been what that lineup has been, and it's been really, really good so far. They're the best shooting team in the MAC, right around 47%, and they're second in total defense. So again, it's a great team that the Stags have tonight, and they got their hands full.
They do have their hands full, absolutely. And only time will tell how this young core, I want to emphasize that again, this is a young core. Out of their starters, we see 3 freshmen, actually catch that, 4 freshmen. Only one of their players in Sparks, the senior, is not a freshman. This team is like really built on young talent. So obviously going to be a treat to watch for years to come. But more interested to see how they perform, again, in these later games. We're to see how much stamina they still have. Do they still have that spark that they did? Brendan Benjamin, obviously a huge spark of a rookie season for him. He's been all over the headlines. But let's see what he can do against a higher-seeded Siena Saints team.
Yeah, and he's got his hands full with Francis Foliak. You know, Brendan Benjamin, 14.3 points, 10 rebounds to go along with that. Field goal percentage just south of 60%. Right, they've been using him in a lot of pick-and-roll situations. They got to get creative with him, though. There are points in the game for Fairfield, usually around midway through the second quarter, where Siena or any other of the teams that we've played have really identified what we're trying to do, right? It's got to be creative with him, and they shut down Benjamin, at least offensively. He still gets his rebounds and so on and so forth. There's got to be ways for Coach Casey and his coaching staff to open up the floor a little bit, because at times it's a little closed off, and that's not how Benjamin rolls. He's got to have all that space to operate.
Absolutely. If Fairfield's not hitting those threes, it really does a great displeasure to Benjamin. Then they don't need to stretch the floor nearly as much on defense, and they can really keep him limited in their offensive structure. I also want to take a look at this Fairfield team. They are strong. They play really physical when it gets down to the buckets, but that is so dependent on that three-point. Just like I was saying, if the three-point shot is falling maybe at 20%, anything under 30%, it's just not as much of a threat that the great forwards that Fairfield has, just like Declan Wurer-Fennig, they can't get in there.
Yeah, they're very physical. It's probably top 2 physical team in the MAC, with the exception of the number 1 seed in Merrimack, right? Mm-hmm. And that's Coach Casey. That's what he's all about. He's always been gritty, right? He's been gritty his whole career in terms of his coaching. He's been at different stops, LIU Post, Rutgers, Newark. He was assistant here for a while. He coached at Niagara right before he came here, right? He's always had to work for it, and their identity in Fairfield shows exactly what Coach Casey has been going through his life and his coaching career as well.
And it's obviously in the water. He has really done a wonder for this Fairfield team. If there's one word that can absolutely be said about this team, and no doubt, it is the climate. The climate is a tenacious defense. It's incredible. They are locked in. They are gritty. They are tough. And they are absolutely ready for this upcoming matchup. So we have a little bit of adjusting on our starters today. So coming out for the Saints, we're going to be featuring Isaiah Henderson, the 6'6" forward out of New York.
Looks like Siena's in the black uniforms. They'll go east to west. Stags in their classic white uniforms. They'll go west to east. It's a pleasure to have you here, WVOF. Final Friday night broadcast, at least of the regular season. We'll see you in Atlantic City on Friday night. The women will play on Friday either as the 1 or the 2 seed. That'll be at noon or 12:30, or excuse me, noon or 2:30 here on WVOF next Friday afternoon. The men got a lot of work to do. They got to figure out what they're doing. 2 wins here will give them a 6 seed. That means they'll play on Saturday. 2 losses could mean they could play as early as Thursday.
Absolutely. We're seeing Munkadi facing off against Falafak. Munkadi subbing in here for, it's going to be Brendan Benjamin, who's not going to be starting this game, but we'll definitely see him come in, play a more off the bench role this game.
Doesn't look like he's available, actually. It looks like he's not even dressed tonight. He's in sweatsuits. I think they're trying to save him. I really do. I think these minutes have been up pretty high this year. Benjamin, he's averaging right around 30 minutes a night. And as a first year, that is a lot, right? And I think with Munkadi, he hasn't got in the rotation as much. He's been impactful. He's still played in 29 games, but his minutes are only 9. So I think they're probably just going to mess with that a little bit tonight. Ryan Zan will probably see some minutes. Nazir Rodriguez will be in there as well. So it's a little bit of a switch up, right? You expect Benjamin to be in the lineup every night, but I think there's some strategy behind it, especially as March is on Monday. trying to turn the page a little bit and have them either fully available for Sunday or they're going to shut them down until next week.
Absolutely. These freshmen, like you said, I completely agree. It's important to preserve their physical health. It's important to preserve these players that are playing 30 minutes a game. They really need to their durability. Their durability needs to be a key factor on these teams' minds. As we stand up for the jump ball to begin our game. Jump ball won by Fairfield, covered by Declan Wukrefenig. Dribbled up the court by Williams, driving over to his right side, just back up top. Outside the three-point arc, back to Williams' hands. William looking to move around the offense. Spark dishing to, that's going to be Munkadi. Williams driving to the upside. Mid-range dumper, does not fall. Just a little bit too high as it goes off the hands of Munkadi.
Yeah, the spacing was poor. You had 5 guys within 10 feet of each other, and I think that's what Benjamin brings a little bit. I think with Munkadi, they're going to have to find a way to adjust a little bit.
So you saw Rollins play a great role in shifting around there, but didn't come out. So we have Schultz coming out, driving down the offense as full effect dishes to Doyle. Doyle pump fakes, top of the court for Schultz. Schultz dribbling into the mid-range. Dishes to the outside, taking his time. Henderson at that three-point line, dishes over to Doty. Doty swings back out to Henderson. Henderson to Spoach for the open three-pointer in the corner, and it does not fall. That is that almost was a shot clock ringing out in the last little bit there, but Sparks dishing right over there to Munkadi. High post, takes the jumper, and it's good. Munkadi with the first 2 points of this game. Doty dribbles off to the side to Henderson. Excuse me, Schultz. Schultz, top of the key. Taking his time, defended by Williams. Taking his time, allowing the offense to move around. Henderson with the ball now. Fall effect in the low post. Facing offense, Munkadi. 3 coming out from Doty. Doty 3 goes long. Recovered by Fairfield. Sparks bringing it up, top of the court. Top of the arc, swings down to Declan. Declan Wukrefenig, and it is stolen up to the rim and does not get finished by the Saints.
Yeah, it's great recovery by Munkadi getting back there. Right, not a great pass from Sparks off the pick and roll. Wukrefenig saved it underneath his own basket, able to transition the other way. It's good energy so far from Fairfield. Saints have been empty in their first 3 possessions.
Williams dishes up top to Wukrefenig. Wukrefenig to Rollins. Rollins taking it to the inside, giving him the muscle. Pump fakes, dishes to Munkadi. Munkadi for the easy layup, and that is going to be a whistle blown on the floor for Fairfield.
Yeah, Munkadi gets a great position, right? Wukrefenig, just a little quick 2-man game right in the paint. That's Fairfield's game. Little pick and roll, get down low, have the defender on your hip. You got Munkadi going to the line here. Not a great free throw shooter, right at 50%. So trying to just get that first half here with 1 shot. And he knocks it down. Munkadi's got the first 5, a little unexpected, but a nice little spark from Munkadi, who usually comes off the bench. This time he gets the nod from head coach Chris Casey.
See Schultz double teamed before half court, and then we see the open 3 coming out from Henderson in the corner, just a little bit too long as it's recovered by Rollins. See Sparks looking to slow down the pace of the game, still keep it physical, but taking off on the right side of the court there, right into the inside. Oh, Wukrefenig dishes to Williams. Williams looking to take a sag-off 3. Wukrefenig in the high post up in that upper left corner of the court. Muscles his way to a layup. Barely doesn't fall off the back of the rim there. So you see Schultz dribbling up against a Rollins matchup. 3-point coming out for the Saints. And it is a little bit too high. That is a foul called on Rollins. That's going to be an over the back. Just landed a little bit wrong. But that's going to be a foul on the floor for Fairfield.
Yeah, the Stags doing a great job guarding the perimeter, right? Dottie's going to get his shots up, right? A guy that averages 17 points a night, and they need him here down the stretch. So they're going to get the shots up here, and the diamond look down low on the inbound pass. That's Henderson, the rebounder.
Fall effect, top of the key. Fakes the pass to Doty, dishes off to Schultz. Schultz double teamed, just the fall effect for the dunk! Oh, that was an incredible hustle play. Taking advantage of that pick and roll situation. Incredible work. Williams, top of the key, dishes to fall effect. Excuse me. Williams taking a look, top of the key. Munkadi screen. Oh, and an incredible pick and roll, right answered back into the hands of Williams. Schultz facing off against Williams at the half court. Williams trying to keep him in the front of him. Schultz, pick and roll, set by Folifak. Schultz to the can, barely offside to the right. Fairfield recovers, brought up by Sparks. Sparks receives a pick from his left side, drives right, dishes to Munkadi, and Munkadi shooting foul. That is going to be 2 shots for Munkadi.
Yeah, Munkadi's just put himself in the right position. Him and Benjamin, I'm sure, have been working together for a large majority of the season. He got himself in the dunker spot. Nice pass underneath by Braden Sparks, who would have got blocked more than likely, and Munkadi heads to the line for 2. He'll get 50% free throw shooter, knocked down the first one earlier on about 2 minutes ago.
He has been electric to start this game. 5 of Fairfield's 7 in the first 3 minutes and 40 seconds of play here in Fairfield. Taking his time with his shot, 50% from the line. First shot does not fall from the charity stripe, but we can see how this second shot is really going to be impacted by how much of a heat check is this? How much of a spark is this going to play on Fairfield's team? As the second rises up and does not fall, recovered by Wuker Fennig. Wuker Fennig hustle park to Sparks. Sparks for 3, does not fall. And that's going to be whistle blown on the floor. That's going to be a Saints ball.
Yeah, Munkadi just got over the back there a little bit. Too aggressive, but I like that, right? Not a mistake you're always going to love, but again, the energy, the hustle, it's there early. And if you're Coach Casey, you got to be satisfied here about 4 minutes into this ball game.
Absolutely. Schultz guarded half court by Williams. Schultz pushes him off a little bit. Schultz is alone at the top of the key. Dishes to, that's Doty, excuse me. Doty got Munkadi on an island. Dishes to the inside for Folifak. Folifak swings outside. Open 3 for number 21. That's going to be Coyle as it just falls short off the hands of, looked off the hands of Munkadi, but that's going to be a Fairfield ball.
Yeah, media timeout. It's good energy, right? 7-2 run through the first 4 minutes, 11 seconds is exactly what you're looking for Coach Casey. And if you're Coach Jerry McNamara, first off, got to give him his flowers. Played with Carmelo in 03 at Syracuse. An excellent coach. He's going to have his guys recover. So you got to be prepared if you're Coach Casey in Fairfield, right? I expect maybe a press to come out of the break for the Saints. Just the energy's not there. Again, this is not the shortest bus ride. It's about 2.5 hours. Probably traveled up here last night, shoot around this morning, right? They're probably lethargic a little bit, right? Tired. It's not an easy place to play either. Fairfield has Leo D. Mahoney packed tonight here on the final Friday night of the year, right? So again, you just got to find ways if you're Coach McNamara to get involved. And you've been in this situation if you're him countless times. If you're Fairfield, you got to keep it up, right? You're 3 of your first 6, pretty much a dream start. Munkadi's got 2 field goals, a free throw. He's knocking them down. You got to be satisfied if you're Fairfield.
And Munkadi is playing physical. He's not only taking those shots, but he is locked down on defense. Some of them are a little bit of a step over the line. Some got a over the back call called on him. But if I were to take this over to the Saints side, my bright spot of the game so far would be Francis Folifak. The only 2 points they've scored this game were a really great hustle play coming off of a dish from Schultz. Schultz dished to the underside of his legs, just right to Folifak for the contested over 2 people dunk. That was a great momentum shift from there. Weren't able to capitalize on it, but that certainly shook Fairfield into realizing, hey, this guy's got it. Let's make sure we can avoid that pick and roll situation in the future.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to avoid it. I really do think you got to minimize it, though, right? Foliak's a guy that plays 27 minutes a night. He's going to play a lot. And a lot of Jerry McNamara's guys are going to play a lot. He's got 4 guys over 25 minutes, right? And that's some of his starters. And then you have Foliak that's just shy of 11 points. He's going to play a lot. They're going to get him in the pick and roll. He's not really going to shoot the 3 a whole lot, although if open, he will launch.
Absolutely. Coming into this game, we don't see any substitutions coming out from the Saints. I don't think any were needed. Schultz, Henderson, Folifak, Doty, and Coyle. Fairfield keeping its same lineup also. So we see inbound coming out from Wuker Fennig. Wuker Fennig dishes skip pass to Rollins, taking his time just to Sparks. Now, Saints have discovered a bit of a full court press option, But as they cross half court, they drop that idea. Rollins, top, dish to Sparks. Spark, picks that from Munkati, goes to his right side, fakes the pick and roll, goes in for the jumper, and it's good. Sparks, that's a high IQ play from the senior coming out. 4 years of experience in college ball, that's a really educated option. You don't see that often. Now we have got Shokes, top of the key to Coyle. Coyle stuck in the corner there. Oh, and off the feet of Coyle. That was a little bit of a stressed possession coming out for the Saints, but that's going to be Fairfield ball. Wooker Fennig is going to be inbounding for your Fairfield Stags.
Yeah, Saints really out of sorts here. They're going to make a substitution. They're going to bring in Kristen Jones. He gives them about 20 minutes off the bench, a little bit of scoring, right around 4 points. And what he really does, he gives them a calm presence.
He does. Very, very maintained personality. As Sparks sets another pick and roll for another midi, and it's good. Sparks from the mid is deadly, 11-2 with 14:58 left in this quarter. See Shokes dribbling to his left side, taking advantage of Sparks there. Fallafak, top of the key, dishes outside to the 7-footer, number 55. That's Riley Mullavoy. Top of the key, number 4, Doty. Doty dishes to Fallafak, loses his man. Fallafak pump fakes into the center and does not get the shot to fall. Fallafak recovers his shot, taking his time. Got 17 on that shot clock. Fallafak backs him down, but the ball is stolen, but a personal foul coming off from Williams.
Yeah, it looks like Williams is going to pick up one there. Right. You reach in a little bit, I think, when Coach Casey goes to see the film. It was a pretty obvious call. As we get the replay here in the arena, really does clearly get him right on the back side of the arm here, right on the hand. But then I see a little Jerry McNamara chess match here. He brings in Riley Mulvey. Not necessarily a guy who gets a lot of usage, but he's from Iowa. Big Ten for the first few years of his career. A little bit of experience. Again, just somebody to get their feet wet.
Actually got the ball stolen from there as Sparks gets the ball stolen from him. Going for another midi, perhaps, as we see Doty, top of the arc, guarded by Rollins. Doty driving to his right side, back up midi for that Dirk Nowinski-like pull-up fadeaway. Incredible shot coming out for the midi. That's 11-4. Sparks dishes Sparks dishes to Rollins. Rollins, top of the key, taking his time, letting the offense move. Mukadi picks to the right, dish to Wooker Fennig. Wooker Fennig into high post, backing down Fennig. And that shot does not fall. That's going to be Fallafak recovering that. Dishes to, it's going to be Shokes. Shokes driving to the inside, does not get in. Incredible defense coming from Fairfield. Jones so fast, right to the midi. Oh, an alarmingly fast player, but he gets to his spot so easily. And he beats out. That's going to be Sparks. Jones is such a fast player. As we see Sparks dribbling up the upper left-hand side of your courts. Got step off, coming out. Rollins, top of the key here. Rollins driving to the high post, finishing through contact. That's going to be a foul blown on the floor. I don't believe we're going to be getting any shots for that one, but that's going to be a Saints ball.
Yeah, Saints picked up the defensive intensity, gave up a couple of buckets, gotten some good cuts. Jones just missed that floater in the lane, but you're right. He's absolute flyer down the floor and off the three-point line as well.
Schultz facing off against Sparks. Common matchup so far. Jones dishes off to Doty. Doty dribbling up the right-hand side, facing off to Wooker Fennig. Wooker Fennig defending Fallafak. Fallafak trying to back him down. Not backing down an inch as he picks up the offensive foul. Amazing work from Wooker Fennig.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Fallafak, that's too personal. So they're going to make that change, get Coyle back into this, and that's really detrimental if you're the Saints, right? You need some size, you need some aggression, and most importantly, you need some scoring. That you just took out 11 points right there.
Absolutely. Sparks pushing off Jones. Jones dishes outside to number 1. That's Deuce Turner. Right there. Oh, for the midi. Fairfield pulled up for the midi and a little bit too far. Caught by the 5-footer Malavoy. Oh, and Jones loses the ball at half court. It's Doty versus the Sparks. Sparks pump fake with a great layup. That's another one of those veteran moments. He knew he would jump. He knew he would bite. And that's how you get him. So we see Jones leading up the point for Saints. Jones trying to take Sparks off the dribble. Getting over there as the 7-footer low in the paint for the Saints. Taking their time, looking to utilize him as best as possible. Doty driving to the underside of the rim as they pick up a defensive foul. That's going to be shots for Doty.
Yeah, another media timeout. And again, Siena's going to this media timeout down even more than they were in the last one. It's just about offense here, right? The Saints are starting off as cold as they've probably been all year. 2 of 12, right around 16%. Not ideal, right? However, you're the best percentage shooting team in the conference. If there's anybody that can get back into this game, it's the Saints.
Absolutely. In these games, it's all about the law of averages. If you're a little bit unlucky to start, the law of average is going to rear its head and really show you the favor that you really need. If they start out slow, they're going to get back hot. At least that's what the numbers say. But you will actually get to see how this will fold out. But if I were the Fairfield Stags, I would not be disappointed at all with how you've been playing. Some shots haven't been falling, but overall, incredible game right now. Incredible start.
I agree. I mean, they are playing well. I don't want to be too much of a stickler. However, the Saints are finding a little bit of rhythm. They're not necessarily knocking down shots. The first 2 minutes to 3 of the game, they were able to be stagnant on defense. Siena wasn't moving as much. Couldn't really figure it out if you're the Saints. The last 5 to 8 minutes, been a little bit different. Again, the shots haven't gone in. With Jones being inserted, there's a little more speed. There's a little bit more movement. So you have found angles and shots. Dottie's going to take 2 free throws out of the timeout here. If I'm Coach McNamara, I'm not happy, but I'm getting happier at what I'm seeing.
Yeah. I think there should be a drastic improvement in his mood from the first media timeout to this one. Obviously, the points aren't showing it. It is a 9-point difference, but there is a bit of a rhythm, just like you said. This team is definitely beginning to find their plays, definitely able to find their spots on the court. Just a few layups haven't gone in. Some contested jumpers have fallen the wrong way, but that's totally fine. I am totally reliant on this team being able to really get back, be the bruisers that they can be, as we are facing off into, this is going to be about 11 minutes, a little over 11 minutes left, 11 minutes 47 seconds left of this quarter.
They're also doing something, Siena, is that they don't do often at all. 4 turnovers in the last 5 minutes, right? You can't turn over the basketball against this team because Fairfield is in the top of the conference in pace. They love to run. They love to get out, especially as you saw there. Sparks looked like he was pulling up for the 3, got right past Dottie because he's so dangerous in there, but that's what happens when you get in transition. Dottie's going to shoot 2 free throws here, an 83.6 free throw shooter. If he gets in a rhythm, he's dangerous, right? He's a little out of sorts right now. He's missed a couple of shots so far. You're 1 of 2, right? But trying to get 2 free throws, get him some more consistent points as he knocks down the first half of that. Get him into the game, and you're all set if you're Coach McNamara and the Saints.
Absolutely. These points are hopefully going to be the beginning of some from the stripe for Dottie. Dottie looking to get hot in the beginning of this quarter. And the second one falls. Wuker Fennig dishes into Mahia. Mahia dishes to Wuker Fennig. Look at the top of the key. Taking his time. Deuce Turner dishes to Sparks. Sparks from the midi, right where he got those second points. That's going to be his 3rd from that exact spot, upper right corner of that paint. So that's going to be a high post warrior this game so far. He's dangerous there. As we see Henderson dishing to the 7-footer in the center. Dish to Doty. Doty crossover dribble. Crossover dribble to the middle. Dishes outside to Jones. Jones exploding inside. Right outside to Doty. Doty for the contested 3. Does not fall. Barely short. Going out to Deuce Turner. Deuce dribbling it up. There to Deuce Turner. Drives to the inside. Contested in the paint. Dishes right outside to Mahia. Mahia dishes right outside to Sparks. A lot of in and out this game. From 3. Sparks from 3. That's going to be 18-6. Excuse me, 17-6. Dominant start from Fairfield. We see Schultz trying to reset this momentum. Top of the key. This is to Malavoy. And then just right out there to Doty. Doty, crossover dribble, catches him off balance for the contested midi. Just barely doesn't fall. Recovered by Mal. Oh, that's stolen by Doty. Amazing hustle play. Caught him not paying attention. We can see Schultz. Schultz trying to take Sparks off the dribble. Sparks from the mid. Excuse me, taking off Schultz, taking off Sparks for that mid-range shot. 17-8. Wuker Fennig dishes to Turner. Turner to Mahuya. And that's going to be a missed shot, missed layup coming out from Fairfield. Just right up top to Jones. Jones, crossover dribble behind his back. Doty in the mid-range. Taking their time with it. Oh, blocked by, that's Sparks. Wucherfenig. Oh, Wucherfenig picks up a defensive foul on him by Jones.
Yeah, there's been a big adjustment from the Stags, right? They got rotated around the last 8 minutes, I should say. Now they're a little bit more stagnant. They're able to get in that positioning. Communication's been a lot better, leading to some turnovers as Sparks inbounds the ball to Turner.
So we see Mahia chilling in the corner there. Oh, and Wucherfenig is on the ground. I didn't get to see what happened, but that's going to be another foul coming out from the Saints.
Yeah, just purely slipped, right? He's just going to take Wucherfenig out, get him a little breath. Mike Rogan checks in for Wucherfenig, not a guy that's got a lot of usage this year. 8.6 minutes, just about a point a game. However, really can shoot that three-point ball well. Mike Rogan, although numbers are down this year, once he gets hot, he is hot.
Now got Doty here coming over just to Jones. So the 7-footer, Malavoy. Malavoy to the inside, just outside to Doty. Doty from the mid-range. Floater does not fall. Sparks taking it up. Doty is way behind. 3 from Turner coming out. Just a little bit too high. Just Sparks. Sparks pump fakes right to the inside to number 25. That's Fairfield. Number 25, Michael Rogan.
Yeah, Jerry McNamara calls timeout. All out of sorts for Siena so far, and it's reflective in the score, 19-8. Mike Rogan did a great thing. Gave the ball up to Turner. Three-pointer, missed off the back iron. Ryan Zan got the rebound, kicked it out to Sparks. Rogan was still on that three-point line, but again, Siena was all out of sorts. They were going for ball, not body. Rogan goes back door. Nice find from Sparks. Get the easy 2 to force that Jerry McNamara timeout.
An excellent point. He really, when he dished out, he saw Turner in that really dominant offensive position. He got the pump fake up, dropped his back right foot, common pump fake tool, but then he dribbled off to his right, threatening the lane, and then as the defense collapsed in on him, Rogan came for the backside, maybe even walking a little bit out of bounds there for the easy layup, and they were not ready for it. He's so fast and so explosive.
Yeah, I mean, Sparks has knocked down 6 field goals already, right? 4 of them have been within 12 feet, knocked down a 3. Then he comes the other way. The biggest thing that I'm seeing is he's getting right to that right elbow. That's his shot, that kind of side step, 14-footer, and he's knocked down 3 of those so far. When he's knocking down shots, he causes so much distraction that it opens up the floor, opens up different components, and that, for example, is why Mike Rogan could have been wide open down low, because Sparks had the ball in his hands.
Subbing in for Fairfield, Ryan Zan. It's going to be Ryan Zan and Michael Rogan. We're going to see Schultz dribbling up against Sparks. Has been a very classic matchup to be in this game. Schultz dishes off to Doty as we see the 7-footer fake a pass outside. We have not seen him be of much importance to this game. Schultz picks up his dribble in the mid. Just outside to Jones. Jones for the 3. 3 ball does not fall. Rimmed out twice. And that's going to be a whistle blown on the floor for Wucherfenig.
Yeah, it looks like Mejia got a little aggressive there. Just couldn't make it happen. Zan got a grab as Zan picks up his second. Yeah, it's good. I mean, those fouls are obviously not desired to be picked up. However, it shows a lot of energy. Loose balls were there first. Just got too much arm that time.
Just a little bit too much arm. And this Fairfield team is really great on those fast break steals. But dribbling in, we see Schultz passing inbounds for the Saints. A little bit over the heads of the players, but that Jones recovers it beyond the half-court line. Jones has he step 3 to the mid. Dishes outside. Back to Jones. Jones catches him off the dribble to the left. And that's going to be a midi coming out for number 55. That's going to be Riley Malavi. And he's our 7-footer. That's going to be 2 points for him. Sparks from the mid gets another midi jump shot. Sparks has been deadly from that point. That Schultz looking to get a little bit more momentum in this game. 11 points separate the teams. Just outside to Malavi. Malavi here coming out for Fairfield, and the almost dunk layup goes in for Mahia. Mahia, big jump coming out there. Great steal from Fairfield. It's going to be Doty. Doty, top of the key, facing off against Mahali, and that's Schultz. Schultz just off top. Swung to the corner for the three. Does not fall. Comes up short. Fairfield recovers the ball. Taking their time, bringing it up to Sparks. Sparks attacks the open lane just outside the last second to Mukadi. That's going to be a little bit of a charge coming out from Mukadi. That's going to be Saints ball.
Yeah, the Saints are going to get blessed with a media timeout here because after that made layup by Mejia, Coach Jerry McNamara was being screamed at by his staff to call a timeout. But if we're being honest, you really can't call one, right? You're down 13, I get it. Stags are really rolling. Shots aren't going. The shooting percentage is down to 21%, right? But you need those timeouts down the stretch. We're only about 12 minutes and change into the ball game. Can't use 2 timeouts right away. So the Saints got to find a way to get back into this game without the timeout. My big thing is slow it down. They're trying to push the pace a little bit. They're not a very fast-playing team. Fairfield will outrun them all day. Where they can win, though, is within sets. Fairfield defensive communication is not great. They are a good defensive team, but their communication is not great. Set some flare screens. Set some ghosts. Get something going at the top. Full Effect, I believe, is going to check in here after the timeout. Get him going. Get him on a roll. They've done a lot of straight line rolls. Maybe pull him out to the three-point line. Create some space. Got to be a little bit more creative because clearly Fairfield knows the scouting report.
Absolutely. And you can really play with the pace of this game with someone like Jones on the Saints. Jones is alarmingly quick, especially side to side. Most players are fast downhill, but that's not what we see from Jones. Jones is aggressively fast side to side. So if we can get him to maybe get a second defensive asset on him, drawing him out of the lane, then we can really see a slower outside with Jones pushing the pace on the outer edge of the court. But I agree with what you said. They got to play slower. They got to perhaps just get to that one shot. Use all the time the shot clock that you have and just get that one shot. This is not an every possession counts kind of game so far because we're still in the first quarter, but shouldn't be wasting possessions.
Yeah, Jones is not a great offensive player or shooter. However, he has the capability. Back in high school, he averaged 15 points at Hillcrest High School in Texas. So he has the ability to score the basketball, right? You can get a little bit away with it, right? In high school, playing a little bit quicker. His speed, I'm sure, was a huge advantage. He's in the low 30s in both three-point shooting percentage and overall field goal percentage. However, where he excels is at the charity stripe, right around 95%. Maybe get him out in the league. Maybe you leak him out, and you play slow from there. If you have him, you use him, right? Get a foul, get him to the stripe. Just got to get creative. The Saints are a very stagnant basketball team. They don't move a whole lot on offense. However, I think you're really going to have to against this Fairfield team to spread them out a little bit and get them moving, get them tired. Try to create small advantages where you might not usually do so.
I agree. Coming back from this media timeout is going to be Schultz. Again, facing off against Sparks, dribbling up to the upper half of their side of the court. As he's picked off by Mukadi. Mukadi putting a little bit of damage on him right there. Mukadi almost got a hand on that. Great shot blocking attempt, but that's going to go to the hands of Mejia. Mejia dished off to Rogan. Sparks there. Mejia got a little bit of separation from three and takes it, and that's going to be cash for Mejia. Or excuse me, Deuce Turner. Deuce Turner for that three. Doty taking it up for the Saints. Saints switching it up. The point guard roll, who's bringing it up, as we see, Coldy and Schultz from three-point line, guarded by Mukia for the three, and it's good. That's number 4. That's going to be Gavin Doty. Doty for that three. Mejia got that pick set from Rogan. Dished out to Rogan. Sparks. Dished to Turner. Turner takes him off the dribble. Pick and pop. Sparks taking his time with it on that three-point line. Crossover dribble to the inside. Dishes to Mejia. Mejia to the can. Loses control of the ball somewhere. Not quite sure what happened there, but Saints are pushing the pace of this game. Jones takes that three ball. Does not fall. A little bit of a rush shot there coming out from the Saints. But we see the skip pass to Mukadi for that emphatic dunk. That muscle that we see from this player is incredible. Emphatic dunk. The arena is alive here at Fairfield University. As Schultz dishes off to Coyle. Doty dishes off Now we have Full Effect subbing back into the game. Almost getting that pick and roll right there. Full Effect. Oh, I thought a pass going to Full Effect. Does not. A Doty layup does not fall. Sparks, top of the arc. Midi coming out from Sparks. That's his first midi. He's missed this game. Covered by the Saints. Dottie, top of the key. Takes Sparks off the dribble. Goes to the right side. He's got a little separation from the midi. Falling midi does not fall. Covered by Munkati. Dish to Sparks. Sparks taking his time with it. Playing it even, playing slow. As he dished to Turner. Turner also taking it a little slow, allowing the defense to move, allowing the offense to get its positions. The 3-ball goes up from Fairfield, does not fall, as it just is out of the hands of Munkati for that rebound. We can see Henderson coming out here, or excuse me, Schultz. Schultz dribbling in for that muscle layup, and it does not go down as he falls hard. Raised to the ground, back up by Full Effect.
Yeah, this right there, the free throw line is where Siena's going to get back into this game. Really lucky to only be down 15 points. Schultz, not an excellent free throw shooter, right around 69%. Not great, but it's still, I mean, law of averages means you take a point or two every time he's at the line. So again, find a way to get to the free throw line. Better offense that time. Got Fairfield out of position and able to make something happen. Schultz is first. He'll spin it. One rotation and let it go into the hoop. Nazir Rodriguez will check back in. Wooker Fenning back in the game. Jones will take his seat. Henderson will check back in. So it's Henderson, Coyle, Schultz, Dottie, and Full Effect for the Saints. And for Fairfield, it's Mejia, Rodriguez, Mike Rogan, Deuce Turner, and Declan Wooker Fenning.
His second goes up. Does not fall. Recovered by Wooker Fennig. Wooker Fennig subbing back into this game. He's so impactful early on, but he was sat out, allowed to take a rest after a fall in that early first quarter. Now you got number 1, Turner. Turner takes off the dribble. Turner rising out to the three-point line.
Turner misses the three-pointer. Wooker Fenning going for it. Gets his offensive rebound, puts it right back up. Dottie couldn't defend him and puts it in. 30-14, favor of the home team. Here comes Schultz going against Turner. Turner, three-quarter press all the way up the floor. Schultz waving everybody away, going one-on-one with Turner, then gives it to Dottie, who comes right to him. Full Effect gets it underneath. Declan Wooker Fenning the defender. Full Effect, 2 feet in the paint, kicked out Coyle, over to Schultz, who thought about the three-pointer, thought better of it, then finds Dottie. Dottie going inside. 1, 2, 3 dribbles, elevates, gets the hit, and one. Gavin Dottie to the line to get his third free throw of the night.
That these free throws are going to be so crucial coming out from the Saints. We really see them trying to claw back at Fairfield's lead, especially in these plays they're able to penetrate, draw the contact coming out from Doty. It's like you said, his third set of free throws for the night. That's really going to be the nail, the straw that breaks the camel's back. It's going to be these small instances of points are going to be what gets Fairfield, as it's a 30-16 game right now. 14 points separates them with a little under 4 minutes left to go in the first.
Yeah, I'm happy if I'm Coach Jerry McNamara. I know that's a little crazy to say. You only have 16 points on the board. You've only made 6 shots. However, you know your team's not going to be 6 of 25 the entire night. You kept this game within striking distance. You've just entered the bonus on that foul as well. You're kind of in a good spot if you're Coach Jerry McNamara. You cut this game maybe to 7, maybe 8, if not better. You're in a great position to get in the second half and come out of here with a great comeback.
Absolutely. A bonus with 4 minutes left cannot be understated. And this is exactly what you said, exactly what they need to really chip away at these Fairfield Stags. They're not seeming to get those few shots to fall, but again, as you said, shots will start to fall, law of averages. So as we see Fairfield with a 14-point lead right now, coming to the end of this first quarter, definitely talking about how to slow down this attempt to crawl back on points by the Saints.
Yeah, Wooker Fenning's got some heavy usage so far. He's at 11 minutes. Mejia at 10 minutes. Without Benjamin, you're in a little bit of a predicament here. How long are you going to run Munkati? How long do you think he's going to survive out there? That's advantage Siena. Wooker Fenning's going to have to take a lot of that load, right? He's already up past 10 minutes. Is he going to continue to play 35 minutes tonight? Again, advantage Siena. without the 1-2 punch of Benjamin and Wooker-Fenning, that's advantage to you, but also you have to take advantage of it. You got to get full back on somebody that's a smaller than you. Get him on Turner. Get him on Sparks. Get him a couple easy ones to get his rhythm going. Get back into this game, and you're in a great position. You got 3 minutes and 58 seconds left to put yourself in that position, though, because the Stags have been better as of late closing out games. They were very shaky early on in the year. That loss to Quinnipiac when they were up 13 with about 5 minutes to go. They've recovered since that point. Beat Quinnipiac last Sunday. Got their revenge there. Been very good at home this year.
Absolutely. Doty at the line for his first of 2 from the stripe. Taking his time with it. First goes up. And it's good. 1 of 1. It's going to be dished out to Mahia. Mahia dribbling up the court. Rogan on his side. Play called is for number 2, Rodriguez. Rodriguez dishes out top to Turner. Turner gets some space for Rogan. Rodriguez, little right side corner there. Mahia. Turner, top of the arc here. Dribbling to the inside. Pumps up and blocked by Folafak, but recovered by Turner. Turner attacking once more. Same move. Turnaround fade coming out from Turner. He says, anything you could do, I could do better. Does it again for the Stags. Coming up from Fairfield, Saints Schultz. Schultz here calling out for Doty. Doty top of the key, handling the ball for the Saints. Doty takes that left side screen, takes advantage of it. Dribbles to his right side, in, out, and up from the midi with that spin move, and it's good for Doty. It's recovered by number 0, Fairfield, Mahia. Mahia calling up Rodriguez. Rodriguez ball handling top of the court here. Rodriguez, also the Fairfield team, is down at the bottom here. Mahia taking off the right side, left side into the inside dribble. That floater does not pay off as it's recovered by Folafak and dribbled upside the court by Schultz. Schultz has done a really good job ball handling for them so far as he goes, elevates from the high post, high wing. Great shot coming out from Schultz. That's going to be another 2 for the Saints. Mahia dishes out to Rogan. Rogan to Turner. A lot of close passes here. Rodriguez, ball handling on his left-hand side. Rogan fakes the shot, dish to Turner. Turner to that right-hand screen, attacking the right-hand side. Dishes outside right there to Rodriguez for the muscle point. Does not fall as he attempts to finish through contact. No foul called for them, as you see. Wooker-Fennig having none of that. Breaking down to the floor, the 6'6", Isaiah Henderson.
Yeah, Wooker-Fenning's up to 7 rebounds already, and he's been excellent, right? He's getting himself in that position. He is going to get tired, though. You have to find somebody different. I got my eyes on Mike Rogan that kind of help him out a little bit in his minutes tonight. Got to be a little bit more aggressive on the glass.
Absolutely. We'll see what he has after that electric beginning to this, beginning to his time on the court today after that amazing outlook pass. We see Sparks taking him off the dribble, crossover dribble, pump fake into the shot, and it goes for Sparks. Sparks is, dare I say, on fire. 14 points for the senior. Dribbling up the court, we have number 0, Schultz. Schultz dish to Folafak. Folafak to Doty. Doty attacking that right-hand side, but lost the ball, and off the feet of Sparks. A little dove at his feet. Sparks a little bit alarmed there. Didn't want to get any hit on his legs, but it's going to still be Fairfield ball.
Yeah, Stags got lucky. I mean, nothing really defensively that Fairfield did to get Doty to turn it over. Just lost it.
Okay, Sparks. This is the outside. Just to Turner. Turner takes his time just to Rodriguez. Top of the key, switching around the players. Sparks has the ball. Got Schultz on an island. Fairfield making a play call for Rogan. Rogan's in the upper right-hand corner. Lower right-hand corner. And he has got some space now. So Rogan sets a pick for Turner. Rogan attacks the middle. Just lose the ball. And a little bit of a mental slip there. Was celebrating and did not get it. That's going to be Saints ball. Clarify, that was Rogan over there. Was a little bit upset he did not get that rebound. As the rebound bounced off of his leg, there was a possibility to get that rebound there. Just wasn't locked in that moment there.
Yeah, it looks like Rollins is going to check in, provide a little bit more offense, get a little bit more rebounding as Rodriguez is going to check out. Those are good minutes, though, for Rodriguez. Good defense. Not going to show up in the stat book. However, as Henderson gets the inbound pass from Schultz and cuts this lead down to 11. Those are good minutes, though, for Rodriguez.
So we see Spark dish it to Rogan. Rogan to Turner. Turner pump faking that pass. Turner looking to control space there. Takes the right side pick to Rogan. Rogan, spot up 3. Way long. Now recovered by the Saints. Saints taken off the dribble by Schultz. Schultz to Henderson. Henderson for the 3. A little bit too long. Bounces right back into Fairfield's hands. It's going to be watching the play call for number 4 Sparks. Timeout called.
Yeah, it looks like they were going for one final shot there. If you're Coach Casey, I like this timeout. I mean, you really don't need 4 going into the second half. However, you want to be set. You want to make sure this final 29.4 seconds is good. Get yourself into the locker room. You're up 11 right now. Maybe increase that. Get that up to 16. Or, excuse me, 14, right? Try to find some ways to do it, right? If you're the Saints, you need a good defensive possession. You need a score. And you just need some momentum. The Saints have been here before. They've been down in games so far this year. Not many. However, last year they were down in games a lot, right? They weren't excellent last year. They played from behind a lot. However, so there is some experience, right? So there is some education in that, right? You learned from those mistakes last year. You bring them into this year. So just finding a way to get back in this game is all you need to do. You're not going to get 11 points in one possession. Little by little. They bring in Mulvey for defense here. Experience. Had Iowa transfer. He played a few years there. Bring him in. Schultz is going to stay. Dottie, who's been playing an incredible amount of minutes this year. You got Coyle. A lot of leadership here on the Siena team. I'm confident if I'm Coach Jerry McNamara. Mike Rogan's getting a lot of run too. So again, a lot of senior experience down the stretch here at the end of February going into March.
Sparks taking it up here for the Fairfield Stags as he's got Schultz on an island. Take him off to that right side. Nods off to Wicker Fennick as Rogan gets the top of the key. Wicker Fennick facing off against a 7-footer. Spot up Jay does not come out. Very close against the 2-inch height difference. Right there. Dish Schultz to the high post. Ball robbed right from his hands into the hands of Turner. Turner to Rodriguez as the clock expires. And that last second jump shot is good for the Stags.
Turner knocks one down. Looked at the clock. Took 2 steps. Elevated almost Kobe Bryant style on the elevation. Just knocked it in from 27 feet. That's exactly what you couldn't happen from the Saints. However, it's 14 points. 14 points in a half where you only made 9 shots. 1 3. That's it.
Yeah.
However, it's a great shooting team. High 40s. One of the best shooting teams in the conference. They can get back into this game quickly. Now, if I'm Fairfield, that's a great half. Turner got to his spots. He had 7 field goals made on 14 points, none of which were outside. That's a huge win. You had 4 pull-ups at the same exact spot, 12-footers, side steps. He's just comfortable right now, and I think everybody is feeding off that on that Fairfield side. So you're good. You're winning in that department. How do you take 15 minutes to reset, recover, and then come out with that same energy if you're Fairfield? And if you're Siena, how do you match that or even increase it?
I completely agree. Fairfield, I think you made a perfect observation. Fairfield's playing comfortably. Like, obviously the play that stands out most to me is Sparks. Spark has gotten to his spots in an elite way. He's gotten right to that upper post, that upper elbow of that post spot, and he's just gone there effortlessly with three of those going in a row for him. He has missed one from that upper post around the charity stripe, but he is just effortlessly getting to his spots, becoming a nightmare for defenses who need to commit to him, but then they fear him dropping that right foot back, taking him off the dribble, as he is so known to do.
Yeah, I mean, he's a 3-level scorer. Anytime you have an elite 3-level scorer, you're worried about where he is on the floor at that time. You saw it when Dottie was trying to defend him in transition about halfway through that first half. Just hit him with a quick crossover, easy layup, right? So dangerous. What I see is he's getting dangerous at the right time. Got to be dangerous today, got to be dangerous Sunday, but we all know he's got to be dangerous in the postseason next weekend, and I think that's a really great sign for Fairfield. If you get up, though, in this game, I feel like maybe 25. If it goes that way, I do think you have to get him out. I think you got to save him. I think you got to save some of those shots, if you will. Might be a little crazy of an observation. However, I do think the amount of shots and fatigue, every shot takes a little out of you at this time of the year.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I honestly think that we need to find a player on Fairfield who their match will be struck by the striking strip that is Spark. They'll get the spark from him, as you can sit him and someone else can take over being that primary ball handler, as he's taken such a dominant role over the point guard position to start this game so far. But like you said, he is a senior. You need to preserve him. You need to make sure he can be there when you need him most in the tournament. So make sure to conserve him, but making sure you don't lose your offense without him. Because the worst situation would be if you start the game off with him, plays great, you take him out, and then your offense doesn't have an identity. They get cold, and you have to sub him back in. Then he's not rested, and he's cold. You want to have a player that'll be able to really take over and draw off of his energy and really control it for Fairfield.
Yeah, I worry about his body and injuries is really what I'm worried about. He's in his 4th year. He's a guy that played in the tournament last year, got his feet wet in D1, but he started his journey in community college. They don't have these long seasons and end of the season tournaments and everything like that. So he really only has played 1 or 2 really long seasons, right? As a senior, right? And then they're sitting Benjamin tonight, a guy that is not really used to playing long seasons. The high school calendar year usually ends around the end of February, so like now, right?
Yeah.
If you're Fairfield, you're playing next week. You'll play at least 1 game either on Thursday or Saturday. That will depend on everything that happens this weekend, right? However, then you have Walker Fenning. He's going to have to play a high volume of minutes. What I think they may do, and we'll see if it happens on Sunday, is they play Benjamin tonight. They sit Walker Fenning on Sunday, and then they have them both as rested as possible at this time of the year for next weekend. I think that might be smart. I also think if you win tonight and the seedings work out the way they're supposed to, you sit Sparks on Sunday. You do have to win first, though. I think that's the big thing, right? We're talking about the next few steps here, but you have to this time of year, right? If you're Siena, if you win, I'd sit pretty much everybody on Sunday as well. You just have to be very conservative this time of year. And if St. Peter's loses tonight and the Saints win, I would sit if I'm Coach Jerry McNamara. It's just, you got to find different ways to be healthy. And I understand you want to win every game in the conference, but in reality, what's important is next week.
Yes. What's important is the players' health, and that cannot be overstated. Because if you're a team like Fairfield, you have a bunch of young players who are used to that, as you said, high school season ending right around now. And then also you have seniors who have a lot of years under their belt, and especially Sparks, as you said, coming out of community college, doesn't have those diverse amount of minutes and opportunities that he has had in these deep runs. But I'll see this coming out for the Saints. I think a big question is what's going on with Folefak. He got out to a very strong start, and he hasn't been this very dominant force that we really kind of need him to be. Schultz has done his best to try and get him the ball, but ever since that first play, the pick and roll hasn't been uber successful. The 3-ball has been a bigger aspect to the Saints game, but I'd love to see them shoot a little bit more. Obviously, they're not incredible 3-point shooters, but I think some would benefit them, especially seeing if they got any break coming out from this second quarter.
Yeah, Folefak got foul trouble early. Had 2 fouls within the first 8 minutes of the game. They had to take him out, right? If you're Folefak, you just got to play it a little smarter. Gotten some of those screen actions. I do think he got fouled a little bit more than what was called in that half. Feel like the referees were a little bit more in Fairfield's favor. Not the fact that they were rooting for them necessarily. I just think things were in the trenches in the Siena offensive end, and just not as much could have been seen. But that comes of a product of having the floor too jammed up. If you're Folefak, I understand you're a guy that plays within 14 feet of the basket. Jump out to the 3-point line and not necessarily stay there, just rotate out. Give Dottie some more space. Dottie didn't have a lot of space to operate. He probably only had a maximum of 10 feet because Folefak was taking that space. Coyle was taking that space. Obviously, when you have a 7-footer in Riley Mulvey, very different style of basketball between the Big Ten and right here in the back. It's just very different. You have a lot of size. Again, he takes up a lot of space. Dottie's got to be able to operate. Found it a little bit. 12 points, 4 of 10. Knocked down all the free throws he shot. So he's going to find it. It's just a matter of, can he find it for 40 minutes? And if you're Fairfield, obviously, can you shut that down for the remaining 20 minutes?
Absolutely. This Saints team is playing very fast, but I like what you said about space. especially their 7-footer, he takes up a whole lot of it, and not particularly fast. He's not a fast person. There's many instances where in the process of swinging the ball around, he just can't move as quickly to run the basketball across his body in order to dish it outside in order to avoid it getting swiped immediately. So I want to see how they can use him, because obviously a very big impact player on defense. Was able to stop Wooker Fennig from backing him down, and incredible option there, obviously with a lot of experience, as you said. But I think I agree, they should be allowing Coyle to have a little bit more space, because I agree with what you said. He was very congested. It was a very congested paint because of fall effect. Fall effect really demands a lot of space. I think, like what you said, fall effect should fade out a little bit more. Open the court up for Coyle to have those opportunities.
Well, he's also got to get involved in the scoring. He only has 2 points. Guy can score the ball, right? He's right around 11 points on the year in average. Guy can go off for 20 plus. He had 22 against Merrimack earlier this year. Doesn't shoot the 3 ball extremely well, but again, if it comes down to it, desperate times call for desperate measures. You may got to launch a few. It's almost March. You're going to have to do some unconventional things. You just got to do things that people don't expect. The Stags have done things that are not expected. They didn't start Benjamin tonight. They've gave Mike Rogan a little more run than he probably normally would have. It's good coaching so far from Coach Casey, and I do believe he is getting the upper hand on Coach Jerry McNamara. Coach McNamara's got to make some adjustments here in the second half.
Absolutely. 37-23. Got a 14-point difference separating the teams. Honestly, against this Fairfield team, who's known to occasionally like to get out to a little bit of an early lead and then proceed to coast a little bit. But I would not be too afraid if I was the Saints here. I think you can definitely make it back. I think they needed this mental reset at halftime. I think they needed to take their break and see who's hot coming in. All the players that they needed to get hot have gotten their rest. And perhaps some of the Fairfield hot sparks, like Sparks, maybe have extinguished a little bit in this half. Maybe they're a little bit more cooled down, a little bit tired. So we're going to see in these first minutes of the half who has kept it and who's going to light it up.
And this is where teams have come into Leo D. Mahoney Arena and been really successful right out of the breaks. Fairfield is up by an X amount of points out of the half. Usually it's 7 or more where they come a little complacent, which has happened. It's happened many times this year, most recently about a month ago against Quinnipiac. That hasn't happened in a month. They've been really, really good here at Leo D. Mahoney Arena. Only 3 losses so far this year. That was one of them. The other 2 were not necessarily come from behind wins. They got blown out back in November. Again, it's not against Columbia. And then you have one errant loss in there at some point too. So again, there's not a lot of losses where it's really, really close and then they just get blown out, right? They win a lot of close games. But really haven't seen a team at home of the caliber of Siena so far. You saw Merrimack on the road. That game didn't go the way you wanted to. You got to find a way here against Siena, get this win, get out of here, go get some rest tomorrow, come back Sunday against a team that has a little bit more of an advantage from that 8-hour road trip. They're across town tonight, as I mentioned earlier, playing Sacred Heart. A lot of things could happen. They're going to be rested. They're going to be ready to go. So, again, you just got to find ways to finish. That's all it is. It might not be pretty. It may not be the most elegant thing you see in the world, but it has to happen if you're Fairfield.
Absolutely. I'm looking at Rollins. I'm looking at him to be one of those players that they perhaps substitute one of their larger minute guys. Maybe give Wooker Fennig a break, sub him in. If Sparks break, sub him in. He's a really good plug-and-play kind of guy. And we really need an offensive beat to really take over for Sparks so he doesn't get too tired, as you said, coming into this tournament here. Really, the whole play is what can our players that are maybe at the top of our bench or a little bit deeper into there, what can they provide to us as a team who is looking to keep this lead? I wonder if we're going to see anything coming out from Tony Williams. Tony Williams played very well to start this beginning, was very shifty, was getting his passes in, but checked out a little bit early, a little bit of a dispute with the ref, a little bit of hot head call, and the coach wanted to stop that right away. Make sure that he's level-headed. He's an amazing player, but you can't let the temper get the best of him.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at it the out-of-town scoreboard. Quinnipiac has traveled up to Buffalo, New York to face Niagara. They're up 5 in the second half with 8 minutes and 51 seconds to go. Merrimack is up 3 in Buffalo against Canisius. They're about to start the second half. Iona up 10 on 4 and 23 Ryder. 40-30 is the score in that game. Across town, the Mount is up 1 against Sacred Heart at the half. And then finally, Manhattan trails St. Peter's by 15 in New Jersey.
Wow. You can really see how these MAC teams are really handling this end of the season in very different ways. So as this matchup, we can see, take a look at these stats for both teams. Free field goal shooting is going to be 51% from Fairfield compared to 31 for the Siena Saints. 20% difference. That's huge. 28% for 3 for Fairfield and a measly 9.1. The Siena Saints 1 for 11. That's a real kick in the guts for the Siena Saints. You really got to get those falling, but free throws is really where this Siena Saints team has excelled, getting 80% 4 of their 5. Fairfield only be able to shoot 3, getting 33% throughout. Fairfield controlling this rebound game, 23 compared to 15, and both teams with an equal 8 turnovers. Saints with an uncharacteristic 8 turnovers, I might add.
Yeah, it is uncharacteristic, and now you got to really protect the basketball, especially with St. Peter's up 15. They're more than likely going to win that game, up 15. They will jump Siena if Siena loses tonight. They'll have their 13th win of the year. So again, then if you're Siena, you fall from Friday to Saturday. Understood there's a game left, right? But when you play next, you're going home to place Ryder on Senior Day, which more than likely will be a win.
Yes.
Ryder's had a tough season, no doubt about it. Senior Day, they got 16-6 at home against the Bronx all time. Again, 29-20, and then when they host them, they're 16-6. So the cards are in their favor, right? But that pretty much takes you out of a 2 seed. You lose here tonight. Fairfield's battling with Mount St. Mary's, who I mentioned is up a point. They're battling with Quinnipiac. They're up a few right now. You got to come out of here and win the game just to keep your spot. That's what happens when you're in the middle of the table. You don't want to drop too low. You drop too low, you're playing on Thursday. You get 2 less days of rest. You got to go play again an unconventional Thursday night as well, because usually the men play Friday and Sunday within the conference.
Absolutely. So we see Fairfield already getting out, getting warm, getting loose as they prepare to enter the second half. And the second half strong. They have a nice 14-point lead. They hope to maintain and build. Leo D. Mahoney Arena is lively here. The stadium is packed for the last Friday night game of the season. This team is really feeding off the crowd's energy. The crowd is ecstatic, especially with this 14-point lead. They could not be happier on this Friday night in Fairfield, Connecticut.
It's crazy. This is year 4 in this arena. They're still packing it out. It feels like it's been here forever. Right, you got the lower bowl, which is pretty full. You got up here up top where we're at. What about Jumbotron height? It's probably about a quarter full. And then you have those courtside seats, which are really nice and full. So it's a great environment to be in. Great that the Fairfield community showed up here on the final Friday night of the regular season.
All right, we have Schultz taking it out top to Dottie. Dottie, high post in the corner. Dishes inside to Folafak. Folafak gets the favorable side of a dribble versus number 11 Rollins and gets that layup. That should be 2 points for the Saints. Booker Fennig dishes to Sparks. Sparks to Rollins. Rollins dribbling off to the left side. Loses control of the ball, but recovers. Tony Williams. Tony Williams under the basket. Dishes out to Sparks. Sparks for the 3. Barely does not go in. Recovered by Coyle as play is called out by Schultz. Schultz picks up his dribble. Dishes to Coyle. Number 4 gets a great option there. That's Doty. Doty gets a very favorable roll there on that layup. This is then a 4-0 run. Williams just inside of that high contact layup. Does not go in. Recovered by Mukadi. Mukadi throws off that feet of Henderson. That's a high IQ ball play. Seeing, I'm not going to get back in this. There's no open teammates. Throw it off his shins. Easy. Yep. Great.
Mukadi got away with the step on the baseline too, so that energy, refs paid it off a little bit.
Mukadi just to Rollins. Rollins to Sparks. Sparks backs down, spin move. Oh, to the cutting Munkati, but right off of his fingers. Incredible vision. Munkati just was not there yet.
Yeah, disadvantage of not having Benjamin out there, right? He's usually the one making that catch, knowing what Sparks is going to do with the basketball.
Absolutely. We see a full court press option coming out from Fairfield as Williams guards up against Schultz. Taking him off on the pick. Munkati taken advantage of by Schultz. Schultz dishes to Fallafak. Fallafak to Schultz again. Dished outside by Williams. Great vision in order to deflect that one out of bounds.
Great vision, and the vision was there because he was able to open up the floor. Everybody else besides Fallafak was on the perimeter. Again, good defensive play by Williams in anticipation of kicking it to the corner. Really good start for Siena.
Fallafak dishes to Schultz. Schultz facing off against the smaller Williams. Takes him off, dribble to the left. Double teamed, but dishes to Coyle. Coyle for three. Does not fall. Fairfield dominated paint, recovers that ball as we see Wooker Fennick really alone by himself on the upper right side of that arc. Dishes to Sparks to Rollins to Williams. Williams going to be running the point as he drives into the free throw line. Dish to the outside for the three ball. A little bit too short. Recovered by Munkati for the easy putback layup. See them taking their time recovering your Coyle to Schultz. Schultz is going to be facing off against Rollins in this defensive scheme. Really, a few different people are going to be guarding Schultz. But Rollins trying to take him off the dribble. He's got him beat to the can. Oh, and that does not go in. Lands hard when jumped by Munkati right there. Tried to get that block, but he lands hard.
Yeah, like it. Love it for Siena. Henderson drove in there. Schultz drove in. He was the one that actually elevated with the basketball. And again, you're just getting another possession. Give him one of the best offensive teams in the conference another chance.
Fallafak inbounds that ball to Schultz. Schultz to Coyle. Coyle for the spot-up J for that baseline wing jumper. That's going to be 2. 10 points separate the teams as Williams brings up the ball for the Stags. Williams to Rollins. Rollins to Sparks. Rollins, jab step into the inside, guarded by Fallafak. Over there to, and that's going to be a foul called on the floor against the Saints. That's going to be a personal foul.
Yeah, Munkati's getting himself in good positions. In the first half, was a little out of sorts. Got himself in the dunker spot a little bit. This time he extends 2 feet out, gets himself 8 feet away, opens it up a little bit, gets the foul called on Fallafak.
Munkati fakes that ball to Williams as it goes off the hands of Dottie. Dottie, hand was there, blocking that pass, happened to go out of bounds for the Saints. It's going to be Stags ball, inbounded by Rollins. We can see Wooker Fennig sets a pick for the man on Williams, but it's a fake to the top for Sparks. Wooker Fennig, top of the key. Dish to Rollins. Rollins with a spot-up J from the high school 3 line, does not fall. As we see Munkati recovering the ball, taking his time with it, back and down. Fallafak. And that's going to be a reach-in foul. That's going to be, not a reach-in foul. That's going to be a foul called on the floor against the Saints.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think there was much there. Coach Jerry McNamara didn't think there was a lot. I think you let him play if you're the officials down the stretch here. 10-point game. Final stretches of the year. Let him roll.
See, we have Wooker Fennig, dishes to Sparks. Sparks to the inside, and that's going to be a powerful finish for Munkati. Munkati has really been raising in the second part of this game right now. He got off to a solid start in the first half and a solid start in the second. See Schultz taking on Williams. Williams looking for that screen. Catches Fallafak. Dish to the outside to Henderson. Henderson to the inside to Fallafak. Fallafak spin around Jay. Comes out and does not fall. Recovered by Wooker Fennig. It's going to be Sparks coming out from then to Wooker Fennig. Wooker Fennig to Rollins. Rollins taking him off the dribble to the right. Snatch back dribble. Oh, deflected and recovered by Schultz. Schultz in the perfect place there for the layup finish. And that's a hard finish. That is going to be a foul called on Fairfield. Not what you want to see. Do not contest that and get a shot extra called on you.
Yeah, Rollins was indecisive. Should I elevate? Should I try to go up and block this? Should I not? Decided at the last moment he was a step behind to elevate and try to block it. Now you got Schultz at the line, who's, again, not a great free throw shooter, just shy of 70%. But, again, you're just giving opportunities for easier points.
Really are, as Schultz comes to the line for the Saints. Separated by 10 points, 41-31, 16:08 remaining as he sinks his shot. 9 points separate the teams with a little over 16 to go. We got Williams, dishes to Wucherfenig. Wucherfenig, they're being jumped repeatedly at the three-point line. Rollins takes advantage of this, and a powerful dunk coming out from Mukadi, taking advantage that they were triple dunking at the top there. Taking advantage, finding the open man, and getting the point. It's going to be Dottie coming out, setting a pick. Henderson. Dottie takes off the right side. Now he's trapped in the corner by Rollins. Hustle play made by Sparks. Sparks keeping it in, dribbling outside. Then right to the inside of the court. Deflected by Falafak. But that's going to be a great hustle play for Sparks. You want to put them in those uncomfy positions. You want to really push the pace and get those hustle plays that you know you can win on.
Yeah, I'm not a guy that harps on the officials at all, but they have missed two. They missed that hold on Dottie, which led to a turnover. Sparks threw up the elbow on the spin move, which caught Schultz clean. Jerry McNamara is fuming, and I think it's deserved. However, you got to move past that if you're the Saints. Down 11, 15:30 remaining, plenty of time. Going a nice little 7-0 run here. Can make that happen, cut this game to 4. Again, there's a lot of different ways, but there's going to be a point where you're going to run out of time. The run does have to come soon, it has to be quick, and it has to be controlled. You can't let Fairfield run. You just have to be in control for Coach McNamara, even though you are upset as a coach and as a team.
Absolutely. Control is really the word of this break for me, because I believe that that's the secret to them getting this back. If you take a look at that last play, even though the officiating did miss that holding call, it's really a problem when you see you just have to get those controlled plays, not allowing those rushes that allow no open man to be found, a bad call to be made by the offense, and allowing for those recovery points to be made. The Saints really got to be taking the use of every possession they have their hands on. Talked about this in the beginning of that, at the end of that first quarter, but this is closer to becoming a every possession matters type of game. We are in the second quarter. It is really time for someone to clean it up. Just make your passes deliberate, make them intentional, make them clean. That's what we can think of.
Yeah, you just have to find a way to be deliberate about what you're doing, like you mentioned, right? I want to make it clear, officials don't win or lose games. They make calls that affect games, but they don't win or lose them, right? If you're Coach McNamara, your game has been affected. However, there's been a lot more than the officials. You're shooting 36% from the floor. You have 1 3-pointer out of 12 attempts. There's a lot of different reasons why you're down in this basketball game. Control what you can control. If you need to get on the officials, first off, it won't do you any favors in either situation with either coach. Focus on what you can control. Control that well. Try to find a way to get back in this game. Keep second place in the MAC conference.
Absolutely. They really need to keep the game plan in mind. They have to stop this momentum train that Fairfield has. It is a really threatening environment. These stands are lively. But if you're the Saints, you did have some great breaks. Like the beginning of this second half was very impactful for these Saints. They had a 4-0 run powered by just deliberate choices. Every pass needs to be deliberate. Every pass, every shot, they need to be taking good shots and smart shots, because Fairfield's just going to be faster. Like you said early on, Fairfield's just faster. They're just a more hustle-based team. So in response to that, you just have to get the Saints to get that going.
And that's step one. The officials have given you one back. They just called an elbow on Braden Sparks, like I mentioned. That call has been overturned as McNamara challenged that. He retains that challenge, and you get a possession out of it. But the possession doesn't matter unless you make do of it, right? You have to get points, whether that's 1 through 3. Doesn't matter. Find a way to make it a positive possession. Then you got to start that run within the next 5 minutes here, because Fairfield has been very good in the final 5 minutes in the last month.
Absolutely. Schultz missing that first one. Sinking that first one. That's going to be 10 points separating the two teams. 2 fouls each and 3 timeouts remaining each. Very balanced. That's second's not going to fall for Schultz as we resume play. 15:30 left on the clock here in Leo D. Mahoney Arena.
Not the end of the world, but you get a free point, right? That's a flagrant foul. So you get an extra possession out of it. Now you get the ball underneath the basket going the other way. So you get a whole 2 possessions here. Just make sure it's 3 points or more, and I believe that would be a success if you're Siena.
Schultz facing off against Williams. Williams to Dottie. Full effect, backing him down. Henderson from the 3 line. Business decision made. That's Munkadi. Munkadi trying to fight off. Oh, it's fall effect. Williams driving up to the top of the key, taking his time with it. Dish to Wucherfenig. Wucherfenig dish to Rollins. Rollins to Sparks. We're still at the top of the key here. A lot of movement, but it always comes back to the top. Wucherfenig dish to Rollins. Rollins driving to the inside, still to the outside. 6 on the shot clock. Sparks drives, trying to make it happen. Dishes. Oh, and the pump fake. And the last second layup comes for Sparks. He's got the clock in his mind, folks. He's got that shot clock down packed. He knows what he's doing, and he knows when he's doing it. Schultz comes top of the key, dribbling the inside. Pump, pick and roll did fail, but just right outside to Dottie. Dottie from the mid-range, just to Schultz. Dottie in the 3, pretty open, does not fall. It's gonna be recovered by Rollins. That's a weight room kind of move. Pushed him right off him. Recovered that easily. Williams from the 3, step back, get some space, and that's good. That's a 3-point for the young Williams. Freshman coming out, showing out this game. Schultz trying to take on Williams. Williams red hot. Avoids that pick from Fall Effect. Fall Effect trying to muscle out Williams in the paint. Dottie does not see this as he takes a floater. Floater does not fall. Sparks dishes up to Williams. Williams got Fall Effect. Oh, misses that crossover dribble, but not capitalized by the Saints. Schultz, top of the key, dish to Rollins. It lands on an official, but Rollins is able to maintain it. Strange interaction, dish to Williams. Sparks for the 3-pointer. Heat check does not go in, barely bounces out. Schultz driving up against Rollins. Rollins got a little bit longer, but a little bit slower as he takes him off the dribble. For that, jump shot does not fall. Very sad coming out from that offensive possession. Sparks calling that play, coming out some movement for Rollins. Dishes to Williams. Top of the key to Rollins. Rollins going to be looking for Munkadi. Munkadi driving some space in the high post there. Fakes the high post. As Wucherfenig drives to the rim for that hook shot. Does not fall. Wucherfenig is in the stands, but got a foul call there.
Yeah, this is good for Fairfield. Take a lot of time off the game clock. You take a lot of time off the shot clock. You get a straight line drive from Wucherfenig. You can't really ask for it much better. Coach McNamara is going to counter with Wucherfenig's speed. Back to the bench with Jones. Christian Jones, the Katy, Texas native. 20 minutes a night, just about. He's going to have to play, I believe, the rest of the contest to have Siena get back into this ball game, because I think the speed is really where they're going to have to pick it up a little bit.
Wucherfenig from the stripe, his first of 2. Taking his time with it, bends over and it gets the shot up. Does not fall though. It's okay. He's got 1 left to take and hopefully make to elevate this game. It's a 15-point difference between the teams. 12 minutes, 57 seconds left to go, folks, at home. Fairfield's got 2 fouls and the Saints with 3. Wucherfenig rises up for his second and it goes in. Excellent shot from the young player. Doty running up point guard for the Saints. Then dished off in favor of Schultz. Schultz, top of the key, facing off against Miha. And facing off, drive to the inside, trying to outmuscle with that turnaround fade. Does not go in as a push. Comes off against Doty in the paint. Coming off against, that was Turner.
Yeah, just didn't get a good break. Doty, clear push, 2 hands right in the back. Doty's got to be careful now. He's only got 2 fouls, but he's got to make sure his emotions are in check for the final 12 and a half minutes.
Absolutely. Mahia dishes to Wucherfenig. Saints opting for a double full court press here. Jumping the first play that comes across with 2 players. But it's not phasing Mahia. Mahia dishes to Turner. Turner to Mahia again. Just to Wucherfenig. Wucherfenig gets that reach-in foul on Folafak. That's going to be his third personal foul. That's not what you want to see. Fourth personal foul, coming out against Wuker Fennig. That is not what you need as the 7-footer Malavi comes in. Dish to Wuker Fennig for that hustle play. Saints defense was not quite awake, taking advantage of their non-awareness. Wuker Fennig with that too. Jones back in here for the Saints after not being here since the mid-first quarter. 7-footer, top of the key. The Giant from Idaho. So we driving inside. Dottie to call. Oh, it does not fall. Three-pointer does not fall for number 21, Coley. Sparks from the three, and it goes in. That's going to be a 2-pointer for the senior, number 4, Sparks.
You just had to take it. Jerry McNamara has been toying with that timeout for the last 4 minutes. You have to. You can't let it get out of control. 21 points is pushing it, no doubt. You really got to go on like an 11, 12, 13-point run within the next 5 or 6 minutes probably to really get into this game. However, there's one way to do it. However, that one way is not in one possession. First off, I think you run Folafak out there. I understand there's a bit of strategy and leaving him in the game with 4 fouls. I get it. I think you run him until he goes. You have Mulvey who can come back in. He can run the floor. He can keep the pace going. He can get up and down. And he can do the same things with the exception of the shooting that can occur from Folafak, right?
Yep.
You got to keep him in, I think, Folafak. You got to take Mulvey out, make a little replacement. I get it. It's an unpopular opinion. However, at this point of the game, you're in desperation mode. You got to find a way to make it happen.
Absolutely. Siena right now is a phrase that my parents always told me when I was growing up. How do you eat the elephant? One bite at a time. Like what you said, it's not a one-possession kind of thing. It's many separate possessions that add up to a cumulative benefit for your team. You really got to take every possession and be grateful for it. You got to make the best of what you have in a 21-point deficit. Every shot really counts now as we're approaching halftime. You want to come into halftime on a bang. You want to have the vibes be up in the locker room because controlling the energy of an away game is a really strong piece for these teams.
Yeah, I just don't think the shooting has obviously been dreadful from the Saints. They're 1 of 15 from 3. That hasn't happened all year. They're 13 of 42 from the field. That's not going to happen many times, if ever again, right? So if you're Coach McNamara, you're telling your team in this huddle, look, we're shooting the worst we've shot all year. It's just simply not falling. Sure, there have been some bad shots mixed in. However, there have been probably 10 to 15 looks that were really good that just simply didn't fall. And every team has that. I don't necessarily think the Stags are outplaying them. I think they're outshooting them, and that's a very different concept.
Absolutely. Outshooting is for sure because it, honestly, as a possession to possession, it doesn't really seem like this is a 21-point deficit kind of game. It doesn't really represent in these teams. I really think this 1 for 15 is a really big kick in the guts for this Siena team. Looking to make a change here. Siena coming in, taking a more aggressive role possibly to start this second half of the second quarter. Dished inside, shows to Jones. Jones quickly taken over the half court, faced off by Turner. Jones dishes to Schultz. Schultz faced over against Sparks. Top of the key, pick and pop for number 4. That's going to be Doty. Amazing work, amazing court vision by number 55, Malavi. Sparks from that 3-point line, just the inside to Monkita. Then that is going to be an amazing comeback play for Wuker Fennig. Wuker Fennig just dishes that inside. Great court vision again coming from Monkita. That's going to be Jones, just to the outside, number 21. It's going to be Coyle. It's Dottie, top of the key. Dottie surveying the floor. It's going to be a personal foul, holding, coming out against Fairfield. I think that's going to be on Sparks.
Yeah, as we're going into the media timeout, Mulvey did something good there. He's just kind of able to kind of shadow his defender, get him behind him. That was Sparks at that point. And those are the types of mismatches you got to kind of find. You got to find him quick, take advantage of them, maybe find Mulvey in the paint on Sparks somehow. Fairfield's done a really good job of staying with their defender. They're not switching very often. Really impressive from Fairfield. I know we've been disappointed from what we've seen from Siena, but that comes as a byproduct of what Fairfield has been able to do. They're pressuring the three-point line. They're rebounding the basketball. And most importantly, they're just pushing and outrunning the gym out of the Saints.
Absolutely. One of the most impactful players that I think Fairfield could make more use of is going to be Tony Williams. Tony Williams, he is really a very swift player, knocking down his first three that he shot, but he really controlled the pace of the game. Amazing coordination, amazing teamwork with the other freshmen on the court, but that's going to be a real challenge. They want to make sure he's nice and rested. I'm sure that's because they want to use him come the tournament. They really want to get him those minutes, but he is quite quick. I'd liken him to a bit of a Jones on the Saints. Very, very quick players, but always looking for their big man to dish to. And right now, Fairfield's big men have just been eating a little bit more than Siena's have.
Yeah, you're in a weird spot if you're Coach Casey, and to be frank, Coach McNamara as well. For Coach Casey, you're up 21. 10 minutes is a little too much time to kind of pull, but if you still maintain this with like 4.5 to 4 remaining, what do? In my opinion, you pull. You win by 15, you win by 5. There's still a W being sketched into that column, right? For Coach McNamara, you're down 21. I'm doing the same thing. I'm kind of throwing in the towel or surrendering in that situation. Get Dottie out of there. Get Fulafak out of there. Get Mulvey in the game. Get him some run. Get Christian Jones in there. Get him some run. Just make sure they're ready to go when their number is called. At this point of the year, it's just all strategy at this point. The wins are important, but because both teams are in the tournament and their seeding is relatively good, it's more important that you're healthy to be ready to face some of these great teams coming down the stretch.
Absolutely. It's not just a win, but it's when you do it that is so relevant come these close days before the tournament as we resume play. 10:47 left on the clock for this match between the Saints and the Stags. You see inbounding, Jones fakes it out. Goes right to Schultz. Top of the key, contested by Sparks. Pick and roll set, dished over to Jones. Jones threading that shot, dishes over to the 7-footer. Number 3, three-pointer coming out from Doty, number 4. That's going to be 0. That's going to be Mahia. Travel called on Wuker Fedig. That is a little bit of a momentum shift, if you have ever seen one.
Yeah, just a one-off mistake from Walker Fetting. Just the pressure got to him. That's really good from Henderson just to defend full court, and then now you have a chance to turn it into a 5-point trip going down the floor.
Dottie's got 19, but we see Schultz. Schultz dishes out top to, it's going to be Henderson. Jones, set pick. The 7-footer coming out with that turnaround. That's going to be Malavi coming out for that spin move in the low post. Just does not fall. Just hasn't been able to find his rhythm just yet.
Let's see how the Stags do with this full court pressure. It's straight man-to-man with Moncati just leaking out a little bit. 4-on-4 even in the front court. Double team by Dottie.
Booker Fennig bringing it up. That's going to be Sparks. Dished out top to, that's Sparks. Dished on top to Mahia. Mahia taking his time, calling over Turner for that dish out, going over the Booker Fennig. Top the key, Turner. Turner dribbles to his right side, surrounded on all ends, but takes the J, and it sinks. That's going to be a deep two-pointer for Turner. Now we got, bring it up here, we have Schultz. Schultz facing off against Sparks, dribbling over to the right side. Dottie fakes over to his right, takes the top of the key, resets to the left, fakes out the pass, going over to Jones. Jones got him on an island, sets the pick over there. Jones to Henderson. Henderson threading that 3, drives inside, loses control of the ball. dove on it. 7-footer dives in on it, takes a shot from the ground. That's going to be recovered by Munkita. Munkita dishes out far to Wooker Fennig. Wooker Fennig gets out-muscled by the 7-footer, gets blocked. Dottie has a fast break, but passed it up in favor of Jones, allowing the defense to really reset itself. Dottie, that poor choice of a floater there, probably blocked Henderson for the 3. Great response there. That's what you need. Second chance points. Second chance points get you in these games. 3 comes out for the Saints. 58-41, Fairfield. Now we see Mahida. Mahida gets struck out of bounds by Jones. Jones bobbled that ball outside.
If I'm Coach Casey, I'm taking a timeout here. There's almost 8 seconds out of the 10 on the last trip down the floor in the press. Not really able to figure it out on this possession. There's 5 seconds remaining to get across. They're going to be able to do it with a bounce pass from Mahida to Wooker Fennig, but again, close once more.
Wooker Fennig dished out top to Turner. Turner taking advantage of Fallfack. Fallfack going over there, dished over to Sparks. Sparks to Wooker Fennig, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Wooker Fennig trying to back him down. He's given way, and the shot goes up from Wooker Fennig, drawing that shooting foul. That's going to be a 2 shots shooting foul with 5 seconds just left on that shot clock.
First miss in a while. 4 of the last 5, the Stags are just north of 50%, right at 53.1. Then you got Wooker Fennig going to the line right now, who's a 67% free throw shooter. Not great. Give him 1 here as he misses the front half, and you got yourself an 18-point ball game. 8 minutes, 19 seconds remaining. Final Friday of the regular season. 2 days left on the men's side of the conference as Wooker Fennig knocks down the back half. 1 day left tomorrow for the women's side for all the marbles to decide who's going to Atlantic City and who will stay behind.
Schultz dribbling off against Sparks. Schultz making some space, allowing a pick from Doty to come over. Switches off onto Mahia. Personal foul coming off on the floor against. That's going to be Mahia. Mahia, the 0-on-0 action. Schultz on Mahia. Call it foul on the floor. Going to be brought out by Schultz. Keep an eye out for Fallafak. Fallafak going to be a piece here setting a pick. Jones up top, ball handling versus Fallafak. Recovers the ball, a little bit wild of a pass. Doty from the 3-pointer. Does not fall. Recovered by Sparks. Sparks dish to Turner. Turner pump fakes. Turner takes that left side. Switches off onto Doty. A little bit of height mismatch at midi. And the midi falls. Turner gets that easy midi over Dottie. Doty brings it up, facing off against Mahia. Picks up his dribble a little bit early, but dishes to Fallafak. Fallafak dishes to Soaks. And that's going to be a 3-point ball. Caught and recovered by Wooker Fennig. Wooker Fennig to Mahia. Mahia behind the back dribble, taking it over. Wooker Fennig dishes outside. Top of the key, that's going to be Turner. Turner tries to take Jones off the dribble. Pass it out to Wooker Fennig for the 3. Does not fall. It's going to be Dottie. Dottie bringing it up for the Saints. Get dished outside to Fallafak. Fallafak trying to back down 2 guys and gets it. Big backs down 2 Fairfield players to get a tough layup basket. Skip pass right on through. Sparks trying to avoid that double team situation in the backcourt. Again, no second thoughts about it as Mahia stands at your top of the key. Dishes outside cross through behind the legs and jumps into the inside. Bobs, weaves, and goes up for that layup. There's definitely a little bit of chit-chat going on between Mahia and number 1 Henderson. A little bit of chit-chat, a little bit of competitive banter we've seen the last few plays. But Jones dishes to Henderson. 6 minutes, 14 left on our clock today. Jones takes him off dribble to the right. Fairfield's number 7, Ryan Zan. Up top to Henderson. Henderson pump fakes. No, that's 3-ball coming out from Schultz. Schultz 3-ball does not fall as it's recovered by Sparks. Sparks dribbling up that left-handed side of the court. Listening to his coach. Coach telling him, we need a pick coming out for the top left there as we get it going to number 0. That's going to be Mejia taking him off the dribble, double behind the back, and a foul is called on the floor. That's going to be a big situation coming out from Fairfield. Definitely a ludicrous amount of ball handling. He's got a great handle on the ball, as we see a little conversation coming out from Mejia to the ref after that.
Yeah, Mejia thought he got fouled. I don't think so. I think it was pretty clean. Down low by Justin Schultz. And now it's decision time. 20 points. Stags up 63-43. The bigger news is outside of Leo DiMahoney Arena tonight. Some competitive basketball around the league. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Quinnipiac and the Purple Eagles of Niagara have gone to overtime in Buffalo. Quinnipiac is just above Fairfield in the standings right now. That game is 71-70 with just over 2 minutes to go. You go down a little bit to the conference winner in Merrimack. They're down 1 on the other side of town in Buffalo to Canisius, 55-56 in favor of the Golden Griffins. Then you scroll down a little bit more, you find Ryder and Iona. Iona's in the driver's seat up 15 with 8 minutes to go. Then you find yourself in Jersey City with St. Peter's in Manhattan. The Peacocks up 13, looking to cruise to victory. However, with the Peacocks up, the Stags up, and Quinnipiac Quinnipiac down, the Stags could jump as many as 2 places to jump up to a 4 seed if all of those results stand. Important, but again, you still got to win on Sunday. The Mount is down a point at Sacred Heart. Didn't mention that game. There's still a solid 8 minutes left in that game. If the Mount can come in and lose that game, they would jump those 2 places up. The Mount would be pushed back a little bit. So with Quinnipiac, Fairfield jumps 2.
Absolutely.
Huge Friday night.
Huge Friday night. Very impactful for the future of the MAC. It's really, like we said earlier, it's not when you win, it's not how you win, it's when you win. These teams, these 2 spots is a very impactful position that you can be in the rankings for the MAC. That is the difference about playing a certain more difficult team versus a bit of an easier team to start off your time in the tournament, because it's really a testament of endurance. You want to have the easiest beginning matchups that you can. You want to preserve your player's strength. But see, coming out for the Saints, it's going to be starting out this quarter, or after this break, it's going to be Schultz. That's going to be Henderson. That's going to be Fallafak. That's going to be Jones, and that's going to be Doty. These are the players they pretty much stuck with for the entirety of this later part of the second half. And Fairfield's going to be sporting a little bit of a changed lineup. We have Turner, Mejia, we have Rogan, we have Sparks, and we have Ryan Zan.
Yeah, they got Walker Fenning out of this game. I think that's really smart if you're Coach Casey and the Stags.
Yes, making sure to preserve him. He is an incredible piece come the tournament. As we see Jones facing off top of the key versus Turner. Turner dishes to Fallafak. Fallafak backing down Ryan Zan as no shooting foul is called. A little bit of contact there, but none in the variety of the shot. It's going to be time to pass in for the Siena Saints. As we see the ball in the hand of Schultz. Schultz to Fallafak. Fallafak dish to Schultz. Back pass at the end of the line, trying to back him down. Help defense. Fallafak can't see it. Dish to Dottie. Dottie gets that layup, but foul is called before it falls. Excuse me, after it falls. That's going to be 1 foul shot for the Saints.
Cuts the lead to 18, which we'll see, I guess, if that makes a difference. But Dottie's up to 21. More importantly, he's 3 of 3, trying to go 4 of 4 from the charity stripe. Gavin Dottie, the sophomore from Fulton, New York, with that right-hand stroke, will get it through the net. Henderson checks out. Brendan Coyle will check in, the senior from Nissacunia, New York.
This is out top to Rogan. Rogan skip pass right over there to Mejia. Mejia dishes 2. An incredible layup coming out, and a second chance points coming out from Zan. We got a flamboyant layup right off the back from Deuce Turner, but recovered by Zan as it did not go in.
Yeah, wasn't that a circus shot? Holy smokes.
Oh, wow.
I think he's lucky Ryan Zan was in the right spot. I think Coach Casey would have reamed him out. But
oh, yes.
Ryan Zan heads to the line, the redshirt junior from Princeton, LaSalle University transfer in his first year at Fairfield, has knocked down every free throw this year. And the announcer's jinx got him.
And the announcer's jinx, he just fails to knock down his first as the players storm off onto the Fairfield bench in recovery of a ball. That's going to be Fairfield ball after that free throw bounced off there. Quick thinking for both teams to dive after it. Got number 1, Deuce Turner, going to be inbounding for the Stags today. Take a look at Sparks at the top of the key. No doubt a scheme will be run, popping him out. As we see, actually a scheme run for Mejia. Mejia to Zan. Zan pass a little bit over the head of Turner. Great look, though. He saw that open lane. Turner was on the cut, but just a little bit too much oomph in there.
Interesting look from Coach Casey and the Stags. Full court press, especially with double right up on Schultz as the ball gets into the sophomore Dottie.
Dottie dishes off to Schultz. Schultz to Jones. Still at the top of the key here. Jones taking him off on the left-hand side there. Henderson taking him off. Schultz dished it back to Jones. Jones for the 3 ball. A little bit short. Does not fall. Zan to Sparks. Sparks has Doty off the dribble. Hasn't beat. Easily gets his way back into their own court. Zan to Mejia. Mejia to Turner. Turner for the 3. Does not fall. Recovered by Dottie. Dottie. A little conversation there with Jones. Just to Jones. Jones slowing it down. Just to Dottie in the corner. Number 1, Henderson. Henderson to Jones. Jones for the 3 ball. Heat check 3 goes in for Jones. That's going to be 3:59 left on the clock. Time out, Fairfield.
Yeah, Saints call a timeout here, and I think it's good. Jones knocks down his first basket, first 3-pointer, after missing his first 7 field goal attempts. Again, momentum, again, it's 16 points, just south of 4 minutes remaining. I think you try it for 2 minutes if you're Coach McNamara. If the game is still over 14, I think you pull him at the 2-minute mark. I don't see a point in trying to get Dottie or Folafak or Christian Jones hurt. I just doesn't make a lot of sense for me. You might as well win the games in the tournament and lose one here. You just switch them where you'd win them. I think it's more important to get those guys out of the game. Coach Casey, I believe Wooker Fetting is done. You got to start pulling those guys one by one. Sparks will probably be the last of the guys. Probably Deuce Turner comes first. Wooker Fetting is out, so then you have a bench piece that's out as well, an important bench piece. Put in maybe somebody like Tanner Ostop, somebody that doesn't see a lot of time. Just eat those minutes. The junior from West Hartford, knockdown 3-point shooter, teammates with Matt Curtis. Matt Curtis is taking a redshirt year, but still, and you just got to find ways to be creative. Tanner Ostop can shoot the 3. He can control the basketball. I don't think after 2 minutes, Coach McNamara is going to throw a whole lot at the Stags. Anyways, you just need guys to get this game to the finish. But more importantly, you need to walk out of here if you're both teams with everybody healthy.
Absolutely. That is the most important part. So I think a strategic pull will be what we see coming into this just under the 4-minute mark. 3 minutes, 59 seconds left in this game between the Stags and the Saints in Fairfield, Connecticut. But as we approach this media break, how both teams come out against this is going to be very interesting to see how the Saints look to play the rest of this game. Like you said, I believe a strategic removal of players could definitely be the correct move. It is, as you say, much better to lose here, lose in the tournament, and God forbid, lose a player. That would be a horrific thing to happen for one of the best teams in the MAC, to lose a player in a game that they're already down a considerable margin.
Yeah, it's a considerable margin, and I think it's going to have some pretty big repercussions because St. Peter's is on its way to a victory. Quinnipiac has just tied Niagara after being down 2. There's 12 seconds left in overtime up in Buffalo. So, again, the Stags will only increase if Quinnipiac loses that game. They will maintain if they win here and Quinnipiac also wins. The Mount is in a little bit different of a situation. Right now, they're down 5 at Sacred Heart with just south of 4 minutes remaining. The Mount will go 1 game further away from Fairfield. That will almost secure the Stags with that 6th seed, and you're guaranteed to play on Saturday.
That's what you're looking for if you're Fairfield. Fennig running down that baseline during the inbound. Very high IQ play as it's recovered by Henderson. Henderson dishes out to number 0. That's going to be Schultz. Schultz dishes out to Dottie. Dottie trying to speed it up. Henderson in the corner 3. Jones. Jones dishes to Folafak. Folafak defended by, that's going to be Munkati. Munkati, it's going to be off of his hands, but that's going to be a Saints ball. Saints passing it in here. Schultz passing to, it's going to be a long bomb to Jones. Jones taking his time, facing off. Jones from the mid-range. And it falls. Jones really has been a spark off the bench here for this Saints team as a skip pass goes right to Turner. Turner dishes outside to, that's going to be, an incredible layup coming out and not falling for Fairfield. Z to Sparks. Sparks top the key, looking to take his time with it. That Wuker-Fennig pass did not really go as planned, but we're going to take our time. See Turner here. Turner gets a layup on the left side. Looking to take advantage there. Driving to the lane, muscles him through. That's going to be a charge coming out against Fairfield. That's going to be Saints possession.
It might be Saints possession, but it took over a minute off the game clock. That's a win if you're Fairfield. Obviously, the outcome not desired, but again, you just got to think time and getting to the finish line if you're the Stags.
Absolutely managing that clock, taking it down. That's right what you need. See Schultz. Schultz dribbling to the inside. Jumper does not fall as we see a great defensive effort. Jumps on it. Wuker-Fennig. Wuker-Fennig dribbling up that left side of the court. Takes Henderson off the dribble and drives in. Another charge called on Fairfield. Amazing work by Henderson, drawing that charge call, getting his feet set so Wuker-Fennig could get that charge.
You need points at this moment in the ball game. You can, 2 good defensive possessions, got to turn into some points with 2 minutes and 34 seconds remaining.
See Schultz in the corner here. Dribbling outside, pass to Jones. Jones looks up for that shot, but passes up on it. Jones to Henderson. Henderson takes Wuker-Fennig off the dribble, dishes inside to Folafak. Folafak gets the shot up, but that's going to be a foul blown on Fairfield.
Coach Casey's got 3 timeouts. It's now a 12-point ball game with 2 minutes and 21 seconds remaining. This could be pushed to 11 in about 3 seconds. I'm taking one of those timeouts. There's no need. You don't want to walk out of this ball game, say you lose it, and have timeouts in your pocket to use. Folafak will take the free throw and knock it down. Substitution, Brendan Coyle will check back in for Henderson. Folafak, not the greatest free throw shooter in the world, but he is at 71%. It's respectable nonetheless. Football pass from Wuker-Fennig up to Sparks, who elevates, gives it to Munkati instead, and Munkati will head back to the free throw line on an excellent night.
Absolutely, Munkati. Didn't expect much of him coming into the beginning of this game. Has really played a very good role. He kind of plays in spurts. Beginning of the first quarter, beginning of the second quarter, and the end of this second quarter, he seems to be getting another one of his spurts. He's been very good on defense. Got a lot of great rebounds. He's really a monster on the rebounds. Really a monster defensively. But now we have 2 shots coming out from him with 2:17 left in this second quarter. Fairfield is in the bonus, as is Siena, with 65-54 on your score today.
I don't know what just happened. I think Siena took a 30-second timeout. I think they have 1 left. Stags did not take the timeout with them. They stayed on the floor. As Munkati has been strong throughout the day, 6 of 6 from the floor, 1 of 3 from the charity stripe. Munkati, just a 50% free throw shooter, trying to knock down both here. Elevates and misses the first, the sophomore from Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo, in his second season with the Stags. Trying to put the Stags in the win column with this epic performance.
Munkati misses a second, recovered by Dottie. Dottie to Schultz. Schultz, top of the arc here. Schultz drives to his right. Swings outside to Jones. Jones off the dribble. Amazing lightning quick second step, but just loses it. just overpowered and oversized by the Fairfield big men right there. See number 4, Sparks, driving in, getting some good push-offs against Doty. Doty with a drive-in foul there. He looked to get a little bit of a punch in on that ball there, coming against a Turner.
Yeah, I mean, he got a little aggressive. I think you kind of have to with a minute 49. It was 100% a basketball play, but now you're in trouble. You just had Deuce Turner to the line, the graduate student from Coatesville, PA, and coming over from the East Coast after playing a year at UC Santa Barbara. He's an 83.9% free throw shooter. The 1-and-1 is good. Stags have elevated their lead to 12 at 66-54 on a relatively warm Friday night here right on the shore of the Long Island Sound in Fairfield, Connecticut. Turner knocks them both down, and a substitution is made. Moncani will check out for the final time. Ryan Zan will check back in.
And an amazing game we've seen today as Schultz dribbles it in. Make sure to get some extra time on that clock there. Schultz in the high post. Dishes to Doty. Dottie, gets that great second chance layup right there. Dishes, skip, pass to Sparks. Sparks to Turner. Turner with that drive, going right through and muscling through Hoyle. And that's going to be a shot for number 1, Turner.
Yeah, it looks like Deuce Turner just put possible dagger in the side of the Siena Saints. Turner, like I mentioned, just a few seconds ago, just south of 84% from the free throw line. Looking to finish the classic three-point play with 91 seconds remaining. Comes over to the East Coast and has had an absolute good performance as he jogs gingerly down the floor.
Schultz, top of the arc here, dribbling to his left side, taking over Sparks. Does not fall as that layup gets recovered by Hooker Fennig. Hooker Fennig right outside there to Sparks. Sparks with that layup. A little bit of a circus layup, does not go in. As we have a fast break here from Dottie. As a shot goes up from Coyle, does not fall. And Fairfield's going to be taking their time, dribbling it out. Sparks dribbling it against Dottie. Dottie's body language a little bit defeated as it's going to be a dribbling out of the ball by the Fairfield Stags. Everyone here in Leo D. Mahoney Arena is on their feet, applauding an amazing game coming out from the Stags. Right we needed against a better team in the MAC. See Sparks from the three-point line with 3 seconds to go. Just does not fall. Hooker Fennig recovers. Second chance layup goes in. That's going to be 10 points for Hooker Fennig this game. Schultz dishes over to Dottie. Dottie behind the back dribble. Foul called on the floor against Fairfield as Dottie rises up for that shot. 22.6 seconds remain in this game today.
Although in a cloud of bad things for the Saints, Dottie was that one bright spot today. 24 points, 4 of 4 from the charity stripe, 33%, matching his normal average behind the three-point line, 9 of 19 from the floor. A couple of substitutions are going to be made for the Saints. Schultz will check out for the final time. Number 33, Chris Torres, the sophomore from Suffern, New York, will check in. Sophomore walk-on makes his biggest impact of culture. Millbrook prep grad and all NEPSAC honorable mention.
Second shot coming out here for Doty. Dottie has an amazing little shot there, and after being subbed out on the floor, incredible game coming out from him.
Danny Murray will check in just for the final 20 seconds here. Danny Murray, the first year from Deer Park, New York. Doesn't look like he's going to get much of a possession here as the Stags will dribble it out in a must-win game. It will end as a 14-point win against the number 2 team in the conference at home. What a win for the Stags and for the Saints. A devastating loss, however. There's still basketball to be played. They'll return home on Sunday for Senior Day against the Rider Bronx. So they've been super good against 16-6 at home all time against the Bronx.
Amazing game by both teams. Fairfield really got the best of it today. Fairfield had a dominant performance, really starting out from an early start here in the first quarter, but they really had an amazing opportunity to get off to an explosive start. A lot of their great players were able to show up. Big surprise today was Isaac Monkita. He was incredible and exactly what Fairfield needed. But this really is a great look for Fairfield. One step on their path to getting that 6th seed, getting that Saturday game day that has been the apple of their eye.
Some other good things happen for Fairfield to try to get close to that Saturday game day. Quinnipiac has lost in overtime in Buffalo. They lose 78-76 to Niagara. Other league news around the MAC Conference on this Friday night. Not every team is in action. A couple of byes throughout the conference. Merrimack trails Canisius, the conference leader, up in Buffalo by 4 points with 20 seconds remaining. Iona sits comfortably up 25 against Ryder, 77-52. The Mount goes across town. They're down 4 against Sacred Heart with 26 seconds over at the Pitt Center. Then you travel to St. Peter's, where they have 3 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in Jersey City. They're up 13 against Manhattan, 72-59. And as I mentioned, the Purple Eagles pull one out, 78-76 in overtime against the Bobcats. Interesting movement. March is a crazy time of year. We're not even there yet. We're still in February, the final Friday in February. So the 27th today, Sunday, will be March. Weird February calendar. It's always odd with the 28 days. But again, 1 week from today, a lot of these teams are going to be in conference play next week, and what's going to be an absolute great event down in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Very excited for how these teams will show up. Great performance coming out from Fairfield, and we wish them the best come the Atlantic City tournament. But that is all we have today for this broadcast. We have been the WVOF Fairfield radio station coverage of the Siena Saints versus Fairfield Stags men's basketball game here in Leo D. Mahoney Arena in Fairfield, Connecticut. We wish you guys the best of luck, and we will see you next time.